Okay, so this is Chapter 1 review questions, and we're on question 11 here. So question 11 says the award for annual leave loading is 17.5% of a week's normal pay for a maximum of 4 weeks. Jacob received an annual leave loading of $654.92, and we need to calculate his weekly wage and his monthly wage. So the first thing to understand is the $654 is just his loading, so it's the extra money that he's receiving. It's not his full normal pay, or his full pay that he's going to receive. The maximum of 4 weeks is important. In this question, it's sort of irrelevant, but for other questions, sometimes the holiday itself might be longer than 4 weeks, but you're only entitled to that loading for 4 of the weeks that you take. And the other thing that you need to take notice of here is that it says for normal pay. So if in the question you're given, not this one, but in others, they often do overtime, the overtime wouldn't count. So even if they normally always do overtime, you never do overtime when you're on holidays, and so therefore you never accrue that 17.5% on anything that's generally an overtime time. So it's a standard work week, and away we go. So if we wanted to do this, we basically would ask ourselves, so if I knew all the numbers, how would I have gone about calculating that leave loading? And what I would have done is I would have got my normal weekly pay. We don't know it, so we're going to call it X. I would have times that by 4, because I know he's getting the loading for 4 weeks. And once I knew his pay for the 4 weeks, I then would have times that answer by the 17.5%, so 0.175. Now, don't forget, if you're not great with percentages, you're dividing them by 100 to turn them to a decimal. 100 has 2 zeros, so therefore we're moving that decimal 2 places, and that's where that 0.175's come from. If I'd done that, so if I'd known the pay and I times it by 4 and then times it by the loading percentage, I know that the answer to that was $654.92, because that's what the question's told me. If you're using a class pad, then that's all the working you need to show, and at this point you could then just highlight your, so you literally go highlight the equation and you go interactive advanced solve for X, which will be defaulted there, and you'll hit equals and it will spit your answer out. If you had to go old school, or if you're one of those people that prefers to, then basically you're just doing the algebra to rearrange this equation. So X is staying where it is, the $654.92 is staying where it is, and what we need to do is to shift the times 4 and times 0.175 to get X on its own. We were timesing those things, so when we move it to the other side, we do the opposite, which is dividing. So therefore we would divide by 4 times the 0.175, and we'd wind up with an answer of X is equal to $935.60 per week, because we had already done it times 4 to include that weekly information. So that would have been my answer per week. And then to get the monthly wage, they're trying to trick you again into just going times 4. There are not 4 weeks in a month, and I can't say this often enough. And so what we would then do is get our weekly wage, $935.60. I'm going to times it by 52 to turn it into an annual salary, or wage should I say, and then divide that answer by 12, because there's definitely the 12 months, and that will give me my monthly pay of $4,054.27. And don't forget to take all of your answers to dollars and cents, so 2 decimals. Okay, question 12. An electrician works on a mine site and is paid at a rate of $39.60 an hour. If he works underground, he's paid an additional $3.80 per hour, so calculate his weekly wage for a 37-hour week in which he worked 14 hours underground. So this is as easy as going 37 hours altogether times the $39.60 that he does each hour, plus the bonus money that he gets for the 14 hours that he's underground. So 14 hours times the extra $3.80 that he gets for each of those, and you just process that into your calculator and away you go. Question 13. Emma picked 73 kilograms of strawberries at a rate of $5.20 per kilo. Now, this is an example of what we call that the piecework, okay? And so she's getting paid in this case per kilo. And so it's as easy as saying, well, she picked 73 kilos and she gets paid $5.20 for each one, and away you go, and that's going to give you her pay. Part B was a little bit harder. In this case, they've told you that, well, they've asked you how much would you need to pick to earn $500. So again, we're just going to do the algebra. We don't know how much, so X whatever she picks would be times by $5.20, and in this case we want it to be at least 500. So we want the answer to this to be greater than or equal to 500. Okay. And you could just use an equal sign if you don't really like the other signs. It's okay, it'll get you there, but you're going to need to remember to round at the end. So to get X on it, so and again, in your class pad, you can now go highlight interactive advanced solve, and that's going to answer it for you without any further thinking. So that would give you your full marks. You've shown that your process, your formula, and you've shown an answer. Okay, but I'm going to do the rearranging for you. So basically the X is staying where it was, the 500 staying where it was on the right hand side of the sign, and what needs to shift is the times by 520 so that I can get X on its own. So I was timesing by that. The opposite of timesing is dividing. So I'm going to divide by the 520, and that's going to give me an answer of X greater than or equal to 96.15. So basically she's going to have to pick 97. So these are one of those questions where generally there's going to be an extra mark on actually doing the sensible rounding. Even though we'd normally round 96.15 down to 96, at 96 you won't quite have hit the 500 yet. And so in this case you're going to have to round up to 97 so that because she has to hit at least that 500 to make sure she exceeds it. And we're assuming we're not getting paid for part kilos. Okay. A real estate company charges the following